The 2022 Minnesota Vikings dodged a bullet. Stick with me and I'll tell you how we did it. Welcome to Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave Shelsky. You can follow me on Twitter at SkoWorld and at MN Sports Podcast. If you could, go down below, click like, click subscribe, heck, even ring the bell so you don't miss an episode. I appreciate it. Help keep more Minnesota Vikings content on the interwebs. Let's get started. So you might be asking yourself, what bullet did the Vikings dodge? Well, few months ago, I did a podcast, and it wasn't on YouTube yet, but I did a podcast of dispelling the Deshaun Watson rumors about how the Vikings were going to sign Deshaun Watson and trade Kirk Cousins. Deshaun Watson said he wanted to play for either Tampa Bay or the Minnesota Vikings. What do you know? He ends up in Cleveland. So that was the big to do about, in the offseason, is whether or not we were going to get rid of Cousins and we're going to sign Deshaun Watson. Well, even though the biggest complaint is that Kirk Cousins is a stat stuffing quarterback in garbage time, even though that was far from the truth in 2021, because there was no garbage time in 2021. But Deshaun Watson has a worse winning percentage than Kirk Cousins, and the last time he started, he won 5 games. So that argument is not a good one, but there's no denying that Deshaun Watson is a very talented athlete and a very good quarterback, very accurate, very athletic. There's a lot of good about Deshaun Watson. What's not so good is his reputation. And the first big move that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah would do is trade Kirk Cousins for Deshaun Watson, who at the time had like 21 criminal complaints against him, or lawsuits. Well, not all of them are criminal complaints, but a good portion of them were. And then he had like 21 lawsuits that were filed against him for sexual assault, basically. So let's fast forward to today. His lawyer on the air said that getting a happy ending is not against the law. So basically, as long as no money is exchanged for extra favor, it is not against the law. So he just admitted that Deshaun Watson pursued these women, but apparently did not offer them money to do it, but that is what he was seeking from the women post-massage. Not a great topic to talk about, but this was news. Pat McAfee show brought it up, did a nice little spot on it. And the lawyer came out and said that on the radio. Now, this NFL investigation is not over. And he just openly admitted that on the air for his client, who's seeking to play this year. Now, I'm going to look up another aspect of this, and that is Deshaun Watson. Sorry I wasn't prepared. Contract. I'm going to pull that up. Now, so he was maybe people thought maybe he was looking at possibly an 8-game suspension. I just recently on our live show said, I'm thinking maybe a year. Now, one of the reasons why I think that is because I think Cleveland thinks that. Because they worked out his contract to this year only having a $10 million cap hit. Meaning, if he doesn't play, they're only out $10 million this year, and that's probably why they haven't traded their current quarterback, right? So, even though he's asking for a trade. Anyways, that's what's looking like is happening right now is that Deshaun Watson's going to spend some time away from the Cleveland Browns. And honestly, if the Vikings made this deal, listen to this deal. Sir, his cap hits $10 million. But next year, it's $54,993,000 in 2023. 2024, $54,993,000. 2025, cap hit, $54,993,000. Or sorry, $54,993,000. 2026. Yes, $54,993,000 for a grand total of $230 million. So his cap hit, $54 million, is almost $15 million more than the biggest cap hit of Kirk Cousins, which is $40 million next year. So not only were we arguing that Kirk Cousins was getting paid too much, that he was a stat stuffer with a bad overall record, Deshaun Watson is all of these in spades. He has a bad record. He only won 5 games the last full season he played. He's a year removed from playing. And next year, he's going to be a cap hit of $54 million. $54 million. That's Adam Thielen and Kirk Cousins combined this year, right? So, guys, we dodged a bullet. There's no doubt about it. This is Dave with Minnesota Sports Talk. We've dodged a bullet. That's all I can say. Again, Dave with Minnesota Sports Talk. Please go down and click like, click subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss an episode. I'll see you next time.